Tonight, winter weather causing chaos across America.
How can we boil water? We don't even have power.
While bringing welcome snow in other places. More on the cold systems across the country. Plus,
we want to talk about the Recovery Act we have here that we're trying to pass.
The latest on the Biden administration's push to pass COVID relief. And a historic day for the mission to Mars. We talk with NASA about today's rover landing. All this and more tonight on Faith Nation. Wild winter weather nationwide. Welcome to Faith Nation. I'm John Jessup. Devastating and deadly winter storms are slamming the country from Texas to Maryland, and that includes the disaster still affecting Texas, the Lone Star State, where hundreds of thousands remain without power and running water. Senior Washington correspondent Tara Mergener joins us now with more on the chaos caused by the cold affecting millions. Tara?
John, well, Texas is still in very bad shape, and now the Midwest and the South are also enduring another frigid day. No electricity, no heat, and the Northeast is getting hit, as you know, including here in Washington, D.C.
Deadly winter weather rages on across the U.S. Snow falling in the Northeast, part of the same massive storm, paralyzing other parts of the country. At least 10 states and Washington, D.C. now under a state of emergency. The South and Midwest, still trying to recover from the first round, are getting slammed again with snow, ice, and tornadoes. Officials in North Carolina fearing mass power outages as freezing precipitation heads for the Appalachians, North Maryland, and southern Pennsylvania. Further south, more than 320,000 homes and businesses are without power as another wave of storms dump snow and ice across that region. In Texas, day 4 of a crisis taking its toll.
What is going on right now is completely unacceptable.
Lone Star Staters continue to hunker down.
It is very difficult to drive on the roads. As it gets darker and you have ice on the roads, it is very difficult to send people out.
More customers are said to have lost power here than during Hurricane Harvey, thanks to high demand and overloaded utilities.
We're working 24 hours a day ever since Sunday night to get power restored to Texans.
While the lights are back on for some, the situation is dire for many.
Now here in the Northeast, it is still coming down with more ice and snow expected tomorrow, John.
All right, CBN senior Washington correspondent Tara Mergener. To the economy now, and the latest signs that the coronavirus pandemic is still causing a strain. Unemployment applications are again up in America. The latest numbers from the Labor Department show 861,000 Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week. That's up about 13,000 from the week prior. Economists point to a stall in new jobs being added to the economy since the pandemic lockdowns shuttered businesses, leading to widespread layoffs nearly a year ago. Well, nearly some 18 million people are receiving some form of unemployment. With so many suffering, President Biden is trying to drum up support for his $2.9 trillion COVID relief bill. CBN White House correspondent Ben Kennedy joins us now with more on that effort. Ben?
Well, John, new virus cases and hospitalizations are down. That is certainly good news. But the pandemic has claimed nearly 500,000 American lives. Today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi gave a recap of where lawmakers are at in the latest round of COVID relief.
Today is a busy day.
It began with lawmakers working on President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief effort.
We stay on schedule with the American Rescue Plan. The Biden plan.
The plan provides money for vaccinations, testing, small businesses, and a $1,400 check for most Americans.
That will then go to the Rules Committee for us to vote on sometime at the end of next week.
Vice President Harris would be the tie-breaking vote if needed due to Republican opposition in the Senate. She met with President Biden Thursday for their daily COVID-19 briefing.
We got to get this bill signed into law. Each day of this pandemic is a very long day for folks who have lost their jobs, for the children who are not able to go to school, for the parents who are juggling all of the interests that are important about sustaining and protecting their families.
Almost 40 million Americans have received at least one dose of the coronavirus vaccine, although the nation still must remain patient for life to return to a pre-pandemic normal.
By the time we start entering 2022, we really will have a degree of normality that would approximate the kind of normality that we've been used to.
Now, due to today's winter weather, which Tara was talking about at the top of the show, President Biden had actually pushed back his plans to Michigan, touring a Pfizer facility. He'll be back on the road tomorrow on Friday. John?
All right. Thank you, Ben Kennedy. President Biden's pick to head up the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division appears set to face a contentious nomination hearing. Kristen Clark, the nominee, lashed out at then Attorney General Jeff Sessions when he announced the Religious Liberty Task Force, claiming it would make it easier for people to use religion to discriminate. Penny Nance is the president for Concerned Women for America. I spoke with her yesterday about the choice and what she thinks it means for religious freedom in America under the Biden administration. Here's part of that conversation. President Biden's pick to head up the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division is catching some heat for something she said in the past. That was when then Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced a new Religious Liberty Task Force back in 2018. She called it shameful and a way to mask it and make it easier to execute religious discrimination. Penny, how concerned are you with this appointment?
You know, this is one of many very leftist activists that Joe Biden has appointed. This Biden administration is not in any way moderate, whether we're talking about the Attorney General appointee, that's getting ready to go before Congress on Monday, Merrick Garland, whether we're talking about Vanita Gupta, whether we're talking about Javier Becerra for HHS, who is an abortion activist that has persecuted the pro-life community. It is almost unending and shocking the level of leftist activists that the Biden-Harris administration has appointed. Frankly, the pro-life community and people of faith should be very concerned about, perhaps, even persecution under the kind of people that Joe Biden is appointing.
What President Biden has advanced as part of his equality agenda, people like yourself see as an attack or an infringement on religious freedom protections. Can you explain?
Well, they leave no room. The idea of equality has been reframed and redefined to mean that if you believe that God created men and women, and you believe in science and biology, and you believe as someone of faith that you cannot bow a knee to Baal and pretend to believe something you don't, that whether you're a teacher and you don't want to define a student by him, her, if it's a woman, or she, if it's a young man, or whether it's a Christian adoption agency or a foster care community, all of that is out of bounds. All of that is not protected under this administration. They really have gone to the far-reaching left when it comes to the LGBT dogma. And it is really going to be a problem going forward for faith-based organizations, faith-based charities, people who are Christians that are business owners, people who are Christians who want to do business with the huge amount of money that flows through the federal government. It is now ripened the field for discrimination and for persecution for Christians.
Penny, finally, a noted columnist wrote this week in the Washington Post that by reopening the White House Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships, President Biden aims to promote a more inclusive, less angry, and less polarized conversation about faith. How is that something you think that the president might be able to accomplish? And is that something that you and Concerned Women for America might be able to work with him on?
Well, we've seen this movie before, of course. Under the Obama administration, the people that he appointed, for the most part, there were certainly, there's an exception to the rule. But overall, it was not people who, it was more liberation theology. It wasn't people who were in line with mainstream Christianity in many cases. So, look, I can't wait to see what happens. And we are always open. Believe me, Concerned Women for America will always share our views, advocate for our beliefs, advocate for our constituents to any president. But we saw this before with the Obama administration, in which people of faith that were more traditional in our Christian views, or Christian views at all, actually, were shut out of the conversation. And so I'll wait with bated breath to see how this comes down. But I have, I'm not sure.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Penny Nance with Concerned Women for America. Penny, thanks for your time today.
Thanks, John. God bless you.
NASA's mission to Mars perseveres. The story when Faith Nation returns.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.
This is CBN News Watch. Thanks for joining us. Watch breaking news, exclusive stories and programs, credible news reporting.
We show you what's happening in the world and how you can pray about it.
This is CBN News Watch, because truth matters. Weekdays at 5 on the CBN News Channel.
Superbook fans, here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! Whoa!
Millsburg Falls man, come.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, excuse me. Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes too, and so much more. Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon. It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
And welcome back. NASA today made its first landing on Mars in nearly a decade. Scientists hope this rover, aptly named Perseverance, will advance the space agency's goal of future human exploration of Mars. CBN national security correspondent Eric Phillips has more.
The last rover, Curiosity, landed on Mars back in 2013. Its goal to look for signs of water, which scientists say it accomplished. This mission will search for signs of past life on Mars in preparation for sending future life to Mars. I spoke with Eric Ianson, director of NASA's Mars Exploration Program, about the importance of Perseverance.
Let me start by asking, why is this next step in the Mars Exploration Program so significant?
This is a really cool mission. Perseverance is a great mission. What we look to do with each of our missions to Mars is build on things that we've learned in the past. And this one in particular is going to study geology near the landing site, characterize the Martian environment, search for signs of ancient Martian life, and assess natural resources and hazards for potential future missions. In addition, scientists will use instruments aboard this mission to identify and collect samples of rock and soil for potential return back to Earth.
Now, when you say that they're going to be collecting these samples, what's going to happen with the samples?
When they find ones that are really interesting, potentially showing signs of past life on Mars, they conceal them in these size of a chalk container, a size of a piece of chalk, and collect multiple samples, deposit them at a particular site on the surface of Mars, and then in the future, they can get brought back to Earth.
What is the most difficult part of landing on Mars?
This is what we call the 7 minutes of terror. During that time, the spacecraft enters the Martian atmosphere and it heats up its protective shell to over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit as it's entering the atmosphere. It fires thrusters to stay in the correct orientation. It deploys a parachute. It locks on the landing site, fires some more thrusters, and then uses a sky crane to lower the rover down to the surface gently with a sky crane.
With this particular mission, I'm reading that you all may be able to hear some sounds on Mars for the first time. How exciting is that?
It's really cool. So in addition to the 7 science instruments that we actually have 2 microphones that are going to be on board. So we'll be able to hear the sounds that are happening during landing. I'm really fascinated to hear that, as well as the ambient noise that happens on Mars, the wind.
It is exciting and it's extremely interesting. Yeah. But for the average person, why is this important? What difference will it make in our lives?
I think we can learn a lot about our own planet from Mars, because there is a belief that at one time Mars was very similar to Earth, perhaps not have the way we have life and all, but a much more habitable type environment, and things changed there, and it is not that today. So I think that's important to us. I think that children get really excited about, as we all do, about space exploration, and Mars is just a fascinating place because it's not that far away, and it has a lot of similarities to the way Earth was in the past.
I should mention it was a student who came up with the name of this rover, Perseverance, certainly appropriate for these times. NASA's long-term goal is the ability to send human life to Mars by the 2030s. This mission helps with that. One key instrument on board is called MOXIE, which will try to capture Martian atmosphere and convert it to oxygen, making it breathable for humans. Eric Phillips, CBN News.
Fascinating. Thank you, Eric. American universities struggling to make the passing grade. Why some say it's time for colleges to be defunded. Next.
When I came to Regent University, it's like the world opened up. I felt like I needed to advance my career and go back to school. Regent was a perfect fit for me. The Regent professors are world-class. You are equipped. The focus of the faculty is on each individual student, whether it's online or in person. You become a part of Regent's family. You carry with you not just the content and the knowledge, but the confidence to understand that we can be significant in the world.
Regent University. Follow your path.
Nigerian Christians
in Iran are routinely arrested.
Happily, Christians continue to suffer.
In times of trial and affliction, you need to know the truth.
One of the fastest growing Christian populations in the world.
Join Wendy Griffith and George Thomas for Christian World News.
Young people are the ones who are open to the gospel.
Powerful stories of suffering and hope that affect all Christians. Watch Christian World News, Saturday at 5 p.m.
Get Protect Your Sleep and discover how to improve the quality of your life. A free DVD or booklet from the Christian Broadcasting Network.
If you're not a great sleeper, you can do things to make yourself a great sleeper. If you're already a pretty good sleeper, you can enhance your sleep and be even better.
5 leading experts help remove the obstacles between you and restorative sleep.
When you don't get a restful night's sleep, you wake up with an accumulation of stress.
Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com to get your free DVD or booklet today.
Everything you do better with a good night's sleep.
You'll discover how food affects your sleep, how to put insomnia to rest, explore effective remedies for sleep apnea, and much more in Protect Your Sleep. Wake up to your best life and get Protect Your Sleep today. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com to get your free DVD or booklet.
Welcome back. Coronavirus cases are falling across the country, but leading experts warn that may not last. What they're saying is highly infectious variants of the disease are quickly spreading, and the White House coronavirus response team says those mutations could jeopardize progress that's been made in the pandemic fight. They're urging Americans to not fall into a sense of complacency due to the drop in cases, saying social distancing and masks are still important in stopping the spread. Well, life expectancy here in the United States dropped an entire year in the first half of 2020, this after the first wave of coronavirus deaths swept the nation, falling from 78.8 years in 2019 down to 77.8 years in 2020. It's the biggest drop since World War II. The study shows minorities suffered worse, with Black people losing nearly 3 years and Hispanics almost 2. Well, when it comes to the pandemic, it's also impacting higher education in America with the shift out of the physical classroom and often off campus altogether. Some are saying it's another reason to fundamentally change universities as we know them now. CBN's Heather Sells reports.
American universities have come to a crossroads, decades in the making and accelerated by COVID-19. Students struggling with family finances and turned off by online learning are opting out, and colleges are hemorrhaging.
The prospect for the next few years is that we're going to see a culling of universities, a reduction in the number of them. It's estimated that as many as 20% will be gone within the decade.
Dr. Peter Wood heads the National Association of Scholars. His group works to reform higher ed, and Wood sees dramatic reorganization coming. This fall, undergraduate enrollment fell by close to 4%, including a 10% drop at public two-year colleges. The heart of the matter could be a number of Americans losing faith in these institutions that have gutted traditional content, like classes on Western civilization.
Many universities, most had this mentality that we are here to advance the health and flourishing of American democracy, the United States of America.
The chief academic officer of Regent University, Dr. Gerson Moreno-Riano, is one of a growing number of scholars who worry that public institutions in particular have lost their way.
What has replaced those courses at these elite institutions are what I would call are courses that focus on myopic visions of oppression, right? So you have courses on queering God, courses on how to start a revolution, how to overthrow the state.
Wood says the content has gradually shifted from critiquing American institutions to a wholesale rejection of them.
That's a revolutionary doctrine. It's one that you can understand why some people are drawn to. There's excitement in tearing things down.
Alongside promoting these revolutionary ideas comes stiff resistance and often outright rejection to opposing viewpoints. Students say they feel it. In a survey of 20,000, only 1 in 4 felt very comfortable talking with classmates about controversial politics like abortion, race, Israel, and gun control. And faculty are well aware that politically incorrect moves can cost them. Just last fall, the University of Southern California suspended a business professor who, while teaching online, explained a Chinese business word that mimics a racial slur in the U.S. Scott Shepard of the National Center for Public Policy Research says these types of incidents chill free speech and worse.
We got universities that will not hire conservatives, that conservatives who are on staff and have tenure are denied the right to academic freedom that the left has.
He and a growing number of conservatives have been working for years to reform higher ed. One plan, state laws that promote intellectual diversity. South Dakota requires campuses to publish reports explaining any actions to encourage it. A more radical plan, taking their money away.
What would it look like to defund universities? Advocates say it could start immediately with putting a stop to alumni giving and tuition payments.
Federal and state funding could also be reassessed.
The majority of public institutions, if not all, receive probably a third of their support from public monies, tax monies, from the very citizens who are part of the very society that some of these institutions or faculty institutions want to eliminate. So I argue that if that is the case, then we should pull funding, public funding from those institutions.
And that comes with higher ed already on shaky financial ground.
With that kind of financial pressure on their bottom lines, I think colleges and universities may well get around to thinking about whether their business model actually works.
That could pave the way for universities to rethink curriculum while creating the best environments for students to truly learn from a variety of viewpoints. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Christians around the world are standing with the Israelis. But why? In CBN's free magazine, Friends of Israel, you'll discover why Christians are supporting the Jewish state, how Israel is fulfilling prophecy as a light to the nations, and ways you can pray for the people of Israel. Israel needs the support of friends like you. Call now or go to cbn.com to get your free copy of Friends of Israel.
Heavenly Father, we do thank you for the work of your Spirit, Lord God, with this movement of getting the Bible,
yes,
Lord, into public schools.
Watch The Prayer Link, Tuesday nights at 6:30.
Hey, if you're tired and exhausted all day, you can't think clearly, and you really just need a cup or even a pot of coffee to get through your day, then join me, Dr. Josh Axe, for this new series where I'm going to teach you how to transform your diet and use essential oils and supplements to get a better night's sleep.
Protect your sleep and live your best life with innovative information from 5 leading sleep experts.
If you're not a great sleeper, you can do things to make yourself a great sleeper. If you're already a pretty good sleeper, you can enhance your sleep and be even better.
Discover a sleep-enhancing bedtime routine, how to put insomnia to rest, learn how to relieve pain that disturbs sleep, and much more in Protect Your Sleep.
Everything you do better with a good night's sleep.
Wake up to your best life. Call 1-800-700-7000 to get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
Don't miss out on this brand new series.
Finally tonight, it's been nearly 2 years since the world watched Paris's Notre Dame Cathedral go up in flames. But now signs of hope in rebuilding the church after COVID delays. Renovations are back in full swing. One of the biggest projects is reconstructing the spire atop the cathedral. It crumbled in the fire. Amazingly, though, the stained glass windows and Jesus on the cross went mostly unscathed. Major renovations to the cathedral are on target to be up by 2024, when Paris is set to host the Olympics. It's nice to see those restorations underway. Well, thanks for watching, Faith Nation. Have a great night.